LockedIn Magazine fans, Beetle Bailey with LockedIn Sports. Yesterday was kind of nuts in the NAL. Players were retiring, players cut, one suspended by the National Arena League. As we get ready for the kickoff this weekend, LockedIn is looking for some answers. Joining us today is one of the best kickers in arena football. He's 8 years in the league, and the fans really love him. Let's welcome Craig Peterson to the sports program today. Hi, Craig. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Great. Yeah, they didn't put your nickname in there, but they have a little nickname there called you the Leg. How's it going?
It's good. Yeah, Craig the Leg. That's been my nickname that a buddy gave to me a while ago during my rookie season. So just trying to, really have fun with everything and make sure I'm staying happy, playing the game, loving the game that I do enjoy playing. So, just trying to get better every day, really, and get to that next level. The NFL's there. They got the USFL out now, and the XFL's coming up. So, any kind of way that I can, cement myself even more in this league and to try and get to that next level is what I'm going to do.
Yeah, that's great. I know kickers don't quite get the recognition they deserve. You guys spend a lot of time by yourselves on the field. I know other positions they can go out and have a buddy maybe with them, things like that. Can you give our fans a little bit of background of who you are and what you did and I guess where you've been?
Yeah, my journey has been pretty crazy, to say the least. It all started. First of all, I didn't play college football. For the people out there that didn't know that, usually that's a shock to them, considering how far I've come. But I never played college football. Didn't play high school football. I would have loved to. I just didn't get into having a passion for kicking until after college. So with that being said, it all started with going to workouts, going to tryouts, CFL tryouts, arena tryouts. And that was when the AFL was going on which was the Arena Football League, which last folded, I believe, in 2019 after the 2019 season. So, I did that for years. I did it for about 2 or 3 years. I got a kicking coach, and then for about 2.5 years, I was going to open tryouts anywhere I could. I even flew all the way down to Florida for a tryout with the Ottawa Red Blacks.
Wow!
Back in 2013. And what do you know? I ended up moving down to Florida after I flew there for that workout, because we came to the conclusion that living in Buffalo with my kicking coach just wasn't enough. We had the Buffalo Bills facility that we were able to use sometimes. I trained out there with a buddy of mine, Jake Shum, who eventually played for the Buccaneers and the Packers for one season each. And, we just, we pushed each other, we pushed each other every day, lifting, kicking, everything that we did, really. And he was a punter, by the way. So we were able to help each other out. He would hold for me and I would snap to him.
Right.
That's actually how I've become good at snapping and holding. So I can actually teach the guys, at least in the Arena League, that, what they can do better to snap and hold, which makes my life easier. So
right.
That's always a good thing that I try to tell kickers coming up in this league. So sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself.
Oh, that's all right.
2013, I go to that workout, I fly down there, and then, my kicking coach and I talked about it, and, we figured it would be best if I moved out of Buffalo and moved down south, even if it's for 1 year, just to see, what I could do down there, because not only you got the Jaguars, you've got the Dolphins, you have the Bucks, you've got the Jacksonville Sharks, you got the Orlando Predators, the Tampa Bay Storm, and so there's 6 teams right there.
Yeah.
And
huge football state.
Right. And a lot of the CFL teams, they don't do this, I don't think, so much anymore, but there was 2 or 3 CFL teams that held their mini camps in Bradenton, which was right in the IMG Academy. So that was a plus too. So if I did get invited to camp, I'm only a drive away. And that's kind of how everything started. I actually got a call. I got a call from the Red Blacks in 2014. 2 guys in camp got injured, and I was on their list. I guess I performed well enough at that tryout when I moved down there that I did well enough to bring me into training camp. So they actually flew me up to Canada. I had to get a passport expedited because I needed to make sure I had that.
Right.
And I flew up there. I competed with no prior football experience, none.
Yeah.
And I performed really well. In fact, I performed a tad bit better. I say a tad bit because we went even on field goals, but my kickoffs and punting was just a little bit better than Brett Maher, who eventually played for the Dallas Cowboys a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So they picked him. I was able to stay in camp because they liked how much I performed or how well I say. So I was able to be there for the duration of camp, and then they let me go, obviously, for Brett Maher to take over. So that is when I knew I got it. I have what it takes to be at that level, and I'm going to keep getting better. I'm just getting started. Like that was my first, that was my first taste of football right there. So I just ran with that. I stayed in Florida, and then there was an open tryout in 2014 for the Tampa Bay Storm. I went to that, and I just blew the doors off when I went in there. It was like I was meant to be there. I ended up hitting the Jumbotron on one of the kickoffs, and their Jumbotron is high. And I ended up hitting that, and they didn't have the nets up yet, but they wanted to see how far the guys at the end of the workout were kicking the balls in the kickoffs. I was actually hitting them in the stands, where some guys, they weren't even getting it, to the end of the end zone. And I was kicking them in the stands because the nets weren't up. So I was hitting them in the stands.
I caught you up in New Jersey last year, kicking into the stands.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I think, as a matter of fact, I think you hit one of the rafters up there at one point. I know it's a little lower ceiling up there, but yeah.
Oh yeah. I've had my issues with low stadiums, and you that's one thing I've learned through the years is you really have to
study,
like just fight through that kind of adversity. Really, you have to adapt.
Yeah.
As a kicker, you have to adapt to certain stadiums like that, or arenas, I should say. And I do. I've learned that through the years, and that's what's really helped me become as good as I have been. Is because some kickers come in there and they aren't really able to adapt to the atmosphere, I guess, or the environment that they're put in. So it's tough. It is. It's not easy. It doesn't make it easier, that's for sure. It only makes it harder. So, I take on that challenge, and I, like I said, I adapt as much as I need to, and try to be as successful as possible.
Yeah, that's like kickoffs. I guess you were saying about teammates. I had something I wanted to find out about this DP GOAT. The GOAT. The kicker's only as good as the team that he plays with and his place kicker.
Yes.
Who's that guy?
That is Prince. That is Darius Prince. That's a good buddy of mine. That's a lifelong friend right there. He's a good dude. He didn't want to hold.
Well, that's it. He's most people wide receiver, right? And
yeah, he's a great wide receiver. One of the best to do it in the Arena League. So he didn't want to hold, and I told him I was like, hey, listen, we don't have a holder right now, because we ended up releasing our holder last year after camp. And I told him, I said, I really need you to hold, man. I was like, we're going to have a great special teams, probably the best in the league, if you hold. And he's like, all right, I'll do it. So he ended up, I coached him up on, how the ball needs to be and little things that he could do to help himself out to get the ball where it needs to be. He very coachable. He got it within a day. He just got it. His mechanics were good, and I just had to teach him a few things, and he caught on very quickly, and he ended up being an extremely good holder, and that makes my life a heck of a lot easier, and that's for sure.
Oh yeah, I know people. I hear people all the time that says kicker's got one job, but that one job requires everybody else to perform also. So that holder doesn't put it down, the snapper, whatever. I mean, it's all just got to be there, right?
Exactly. And that's one thing that teams and coaches have realized when I come to the team. I kind of take charge of that aspect because that's my job. You know what I mean? That's not really their job. It's just kind of special teams. The kicker's got to make his kicks. Well, there's a lot more that goes into it than just the kicker making the kicks. And And now that coaches are catching on to that, they're seeing that I really have a knack for developing the snappers and the holders and making sure that it's a well-oiled machine kind of, you know what I mean?
Right. So you won a national championship with the NAL last year up with Albany. And you just signed with Columbus this past year. Why did that come about?
So, yep, I was with the Carolina Cobras in 18, and we did win a championship, and that was my first year in the NAL. And then my second year in the NAL, I was with the Albany Empire and won another championship. So that's kind of cool, just in that aspect of when you look at it. It's like I was only in the league for 2 years and won 2 championships, and it just goes to show you how important the game is, because that year against Columbus, we won because we had the better special teams unit. So shout out to all our special teams guys out there that played last year with Albany. I appreciate you guys. Just wanted to get that out there. But I signed with the Columbus Lions this year. And after last year, it was actually right after we won on the field, I went up to Mason. And that was, I think, their third championship that they had been in it and didn't win it. And it was the second against me. So I went up to Mason. I said, hey, listen, man, you guys played great. And Mason's one of the best arena quarterbacks.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah.
Hands down. And now that Tommy left or was suspended, because he was speaking his mind, he was speaking the truth about Albany. They ended up suspending him. So it happens. Somebody had to come out and tell him what was going on. So after he got suspended. So Mason was the last one. And this is not a knack on any of the quarterbacks.
Right.
Listen, John Bain, great quarterback. Mike Faithful, great quarterback. Who are the other quarterbacks? I mean, there's I'm missing somebody out there. There's a
Warren.
John Bain, you got Albany. Oh, Warren Smith with Jacksonville, also a great quarterback. Played in the AFL as well. You got a lot of experience there. But Mason, I mean, you can't really look past the fact that he was 56-2 last year. He had 56 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. So he was, coming in this year. He was the MVP last year too. So he was I would say the best quarterback in the league.
Right. And
I talked to him after the game, and I said, hey, listen, I would love to play with you, man. I know you've always been kind of stumped by getting, kickers that haven't been that great. And it's kind of, the reason why you haven't been able to win a championship. I said, listen, I'd love to play with you. He said, let's talk. He's like, that would be great. Let's keep in communication. So we did. We kept in touch all off season. He's a great guy, by the way. I love talking to Mason. He's just a good dude. Right. And we made it happen. He's like, come to Columbus. It's a great atmosphere. The fans are great. And he was spot on. So I signed with Columbus. Obviously, Albany threw out an offer to me that I wasn't happy with, so I wasn't going to go back there anyways, especially with all the turmoil that was going on. So I said, all right, this is a good fit. I get to play with Mason and, be on a good team, because they're always a good team. I truly believe that Coach Gibson is, definitely one of the best coaches out there as well. He just knows the game. We switched to the Ironman rules, which I'm not too familiar with. I know, how it works now, but he used to play Ironman football, so he's very well aware of how things work. So it was a great fit.
Did they have you lined up for anything for Ironman? Were you going to play defense at all, or?
I was out there. I was out there slinging passes. I was catching balls. But I knew, when it came down to it, I didn't think I was going to get any playing time, anything but kicking the football. So
that's what I was going to say. Because it looks like they were going to do their next kicker that they just brought back as their specialty player for Ironman.
Yeah. Ryan Gates, also a good kid. I was in camp, and truth be told, I got a call. I think 3 days after not even 3 days after, I had gotten, no, it might have been 3 days. I can't remember. I got a call from Jawad, and he offered me the position in Massachusetts. And, I felt like my integrity was going to be in check. Do I leave Columbus? I just got there. Or do I go to Mass and play? Because they'd only played one game, and then they had 2 bye weeks.
Right.
So I messaged him back and I said, hey, listen, I really appreciate the offer, but you know, I'm a man of integrity, and I told Jason like I was going to come play with him and win a championship, and that's pretty much what I said. I said I really appreciate the offer. You know, if something comes up, I hope we can get together. You know, whatnot. So I stayed, and then 4 days later, after that, I find out that Mason's not going to be with us.
That's I was reading that. So he's going to coaching, or can you tell us what he's going to do?
Yeah, so it's already been out there, I believe. I don't know if I could say where, but I'm going to let them handle that.
Yeah, it's out that he's going to be coaching, but there's other ones saying that he's signing with Massachusetts.
No. He took it. I think I can say he took an OC job at a college.
Right.
I think that's what I could say. So great for him. That's awesome. He's staying in football. I think that's also great. Was I upset? I wasn't upset. I was happy for him, to be honest, really. Because personally, I would love a special teams coaching job at a college somewhere. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Would I stop kicking? I don't know. I feel like I would really, because he's in the position.
Right.
I feel like I would really have to be in that position to then make a decision. And I haven't been put in that decision. I haven't gotten an offer for a special coordinator job.
He's still into the game yet. You know, you don't know Mason after a number of years of playing the ball, and that opportunity having to come up. You know, you don't want to kind of miss that opportunity, and you know, you get to a certain point. We're going to talk with a guy later on, Raleigh. I think he retired at the number. He just said he's really not into it anymore, and you know, a lot of people do go into coaching. So you're going to the IFL. Let's get back quick to a little bit to the NAL. Now that all this is happening, how do you see maybe the teams finishing up in the end of the year, as in like who might be going to championship or anything else that's happening in the NFL or NAL you can give us?
Yeah, this Iron Man rules thing is, I mean, it's intense.
Right.
Honestly, you would think it would come down to the quarterback because it's arena football. But guess what? Our defensive ends. So, you know, is it really going to depend on who the best athletes are that are on your team? Is it going to come down to who has the best quarterback? Who's the most accurate quarterback? I don't know. You know what I mean? I think it's a toss up.
Yeah.
You know, I don't see the gunslingers being very competitive, just from what I've heard with the whole situation. Orlando, I don't even know who their quarterback is. And the quarterback is obviously a very important piece of the puzzle. Right. So I don't know how well they got dogs on that team. But the quarterback matters. So right. I have no idea who their quarterback is, because I know EJ Hilliard signed and then he didn't return. Now he's in the IFL. You know, it's just tough. So I don't really know. I mean, you got Darren Daniel over in Columbus, and he was there while I was there in camp, who looks pretty good. And, you know, you got Mike Faithful in Albany, and you got John Bain in Carolina, and you got Warren Smith over in Jacksonville. I mean, there's good quarterbacks around the league. It's just who has the mental toughness and who has the amount of athletes that are going to be able to play both sides of the ball at a high level. I think play will go down in the NAL? 100%, because you've got guys playing positions that they've never played before.
Right.
So the level of play will go down a little bit. But I think the fans are going to love it. I think the fans are going to eat it up. Yeah. But from a player standpoint, the level of play probably will go down on both sides of the ball, and it's really going to come down to who's got the better athletes. You know, the athletes on defense that are normally playing offense. Who's making those plays? What teams are making those plays? And obviously, you got to protect your quarterback. You know, and I think another thing that comes in with Ironman football is injury. Are there going to be more injuries? I don't know. I can't answer that.
Right.
You know, do think there might be? Well, yeah, because you got guys playing a lot more when they might usually be resting. They're going in for another possession.
Or
So now
moving in different ways they weren't normally used to moving.
Correct.
Right?
For years.
Yeah.
You know, the reason Iron Man isn't around anymore. You know what I mean? So and those guys were used to practicing and playing like that for so many years that they became accustomed to it. Now we're just getting back into it. So we'll see. I think it's going to be exciting. I'm actually I'm looking forward because I got a game on Saturday against the Barnstormers. I'm looking to watch those games on Sunday just to see how they're played out. They don't. There is one thing that with the NAL, getting back to that, like you said, there's no rule book. You can't go online on the NAL website and look at the rules for the Ironman football. Like I just find that a little unprofessional.
Well,
I know what's a penalty if you got a guy that's not supposed to be on the field and he's on the field? Like what's the
Well, we've talked to two coaches, and I think they know the rules pretty good. But like you say, I think it's going to come down to that point where, you know, are the coaches well versed at doing this Ironman stuff, so that they get the right players in at the right time, and not having somebody, you know, that's not supposed to be in there, and like you say, with the rules. So you know, they didn't talk too much about their players. Maybe it was just because it was early on in the season and training camp or whatever, but they were more into talking about, okay, how they're going to progress with their, you know, coaching. You know, I got a coach to do this, I got a coach to do that, you know, so to make sure they got the right players. So I think it's going to be interesting. Yeah, but like you say, we'll see what happens. So
the one thing that bothered me, it was really weird. How do you have a league that has a 14-game schedule for 2 teams and a 12-game schedule for 4 teams?
Right.
How do you explain it? Like, I don't know. I mean, I was always wondering about that. How do the awards work at the end of the year? Well, he played 2 more games, but he's got 200 more yards. It's like, how do you? I don't know. Little unprofessional. Like I said, it was going to be my last year in the NAL with the Columbus Lions, and try and bring a championship back with Mason. And honestly, it didn't. Things transpired, and it didn't work out like that. And honestly, that's God's plan. I'm supposed to be here in Massachusetts, and I'm grateful for the opportunity. And I was lucky enough for it to open up.
Right.
Because what happened, I turned it down, and then 3 weeks later, I got another call, and I told myself if I got another call after everything that transpired with Columbus, that I was going to take it. So, you know, if I don't get that call, I'm still in Columbus.
Oh, so now you're with the Massachusetts Pirates, right?
Correct.
And you playing this weekend, or when's the next game?
Yeah, so we play this weekend. I believe it's at 7:00 at the DCU Arena, and it's gonna. I'm excited. I'm pumped. You know, I was joking about this with the guys yesterday at practice, but I got 1 snapper and 1 holder now, and that's it. Whereas, you know, in Ironman, you could have a different snapper, a different holder throughout the game.
So
that's just a guy could be out, or you know, defense and somebody else. I think it's different if your quarterback is the holder. That kind of helps you out a little bit. Right. But who knows who your snapper is going to be, you know?
Yeah, because what if you want to run a fake or something, and you got a defensive lineman that's holding for you and trying to throw a pass or something?
Exactly.
Or fullback. So, I guess you could do a fullback and do a run, but yeah. So
I'm excited. I'm excited to see how it goes. It's definitely going to be a different game, but we'll see. We'll see how things work out.
Well, we're excited for you too. Is there anything else that is going on up there in the IFL that you can let our fans in on?
No, I mean it's a great league. I actually started. I ended up playing in the IFL in 2017 with the Spokane Empire, which is now the Spokane Shock, even though they're not here anymore, which is unfortunate. But I played a little bit, so I got some experience in this league. You know, with the kickoffs. That may be the only thing that I don't like, especially with the leg I have and how much I like the deuce.
Okay.
That might be the one thing that the NAL has on the IFL, in my personal experience, that I would prefer.
Right.
But other than that, we go for field goals here, which I love. It's more chances to get points and show off your talent, really, in this league. There's 14 teams. That's huge. And they're already announcing more teams coming out. Like, I think that NAL has had 6 teams every year other than that first year in the league, 2017. It's not really growing. The league isn't growing. So coming to a league where it's growing, a lot of players have come here from the NAL now that the suspension is up. I should probably mention that as well.
Yeah.
I was going to play for the Pirates in 2021 because I signed with them in 2020, but the IFL had this rule or ban or whatever you want to call it for all the fans out there that didn't know this. AFL players who played in 2019, so I was with the Columbus Destroyers in 2019 in the Arena Football League, could not join the IFL in 2020. Supposed to be a 1-year ban, okay? So what happens? 2020 comes around. I signed with Massachusetts, who were still in the NAL, and the year didn't happen, right? COVID year. So 2021 comes around. What's that?
Right. I was just laughing. Yeah, COVID come around. Yeah. Screwed everything up.
Yeah. Screwed everything up. So 2021 came around. They joined the IFL. Massachusetts did, that is.
Right.
And now they're saying that the AFL players still cannot sign with IFL teams. Okay. So then Albany came back, and then I ended up signing with Albany and going back home. But so now I think as of April 1st, this quote unquote ban for AFL players has been uplifted.
Right. Right.
So any player that is in whatever league is able to sign or play. That's why suspensions have an action list on the NAL website. It would be like suspended by league, suspended by league. Those are all guys who typically have played in the AFL in 2019. And if they weren't, they're just guys that want to leave the league to go play in a better league. That's all.
Well, appreciate you stopping by here. Hopefully, looking for you in the future here, and hopefully the best for you and your kicking. And anything else that you'd like to shout out to anybody?
Shout out to my mom, my family, my brothers, my 3 brothers, my mom, and shout out to them. Hopefully I'll see them this weekend at the DCU Center, and that's pretty much it. Shout out to my teammates over there in Albany. Good luck this year. Shout out to the Columbus Lions. I told Coach Gibson, I apologize, but this is God's plan. This is where I'm supposed to be, and he understood. He knows how it's still a business at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's still a business, and you either understand or you don't. And he did. I appreciate that. Shout out to the Columbus Lions fans, for taking care of me in the short time I was there. I really appreciate you guys, and I'm excited. I'm excited to get this season started. For me, at least. I know the season's already started, but
Right.
I'm pumped to get out there and start hitting field goals and extra points and deuces. So, hopefully we can defend the ship, and
Great.
hopefully we can defend it.
I might have to make a trip up to see you guys.
Football.
Yeah, I'll be up in Albany this Saturday.
You should. You definitely.
Yeah. Kind of losing our.
That'll be fun. That'll be fun. We'd love to see you out here, man. You let me know, and we'll get you over here in the DCU Center.
Okay, thanks. Talk with you later. Have a good day.